Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about why you feel overwhelmed by life. If you're someone who feels like there's a giant mountain of habits that you need to install, books that you need to read, work that needs to be done, all kinds of shit is piling up in your life and you are just there staring up at this giant mountain of things that you need to do, and this overwhelms you, almost like you need to do everything at once. If that's you, then in this video I'm going to be sharing a really kind of weird solution that I discovered for myself about 6 months ago. Back in February, when I was starting my coaching business, this was something that had me feeling super overwhelmed because I've never started a business before. I'm 21 years old. I have no clue how any of this stuff works. I've never done a sale before. I've never taken a payment before. I don't know how to coach. At that point, I didn't know how to coach people. So I just felt overwhelmed by all this stuff that I needed to do. I needed to set up this website. I needed to set up this email thing. And then all these things, I get overwhelmed, especially when it comes to doing technical website related things on the computer. There's all this kind of technical troubleshooting that I need to do. That just makes me feel super overwhelmed. And I was very, very stressed out, and I felt like my life wasn't really going to succeed because there was just too much stuff that I had to do. And then what I would do is I would just kind of run away from all of these obligations. So I would go smoke some weed with my friends. I would go gorge myself on a giant meal, anything to distract myself from the mountain of tasks that needed to be completed. So what I did was I actually hired a coach for myself, and this had a very transformative impact on my life. So I hired myself a coach, someone that I trusted, someone that I felt like could help me in my situation. I paid him for a session, and I talked to him one-on-one for about an hour and a half, and just by talking to him, I was able to kind of plumb the depths of my mind for why I was feeling so overwhelmed, and he gave me a very, very interesting solution to my problem. The coach that I chose is he's an enlightened person who's very spiritually awake, and he told me, and he said, "Adam, why is it that you feel like you need to do so many things?" And I said, "Well, if I don't get this email thing set up, then I'm not going to make any money, then I'm not going to be able to pay my rent, then I'm not going to be able to eat food, and then I'm going to be a failure." And then he said, okay, slow down a second. You don't actually need to do any of those things. He said to me, right now, pay attention just to the fact that your heart is beating. Do you need to consciously beat your heart? Or is that something that's just being done automatically? And I was there and I was like, okay, I was paying attention to my heart. Yeah, my heart's beating automatically. I don't have to beat my heart. It beats for me. And then he said, okay, pay attention to your breathing. Do you need to breathe intentionally? Or does your breathing just happen automatically? What about the food that's being digested in your stomach? Is your digestive system functioning because you're the one who's consciously figuring it out, and are you the one that's digesting your food right now? Or is your food being digested automatically? And I was there and I was like, wow, I guess all that stuff is being done for me. And he basically told me, he said, what if all of those tasks that you need to do, all that email stuff that you need to set up, that website, all those books you need to read in order to figure out how to get this business up and running, what if all of that could also be done automatically in the same way that your heart is beating for you and that your stomach is digesting food for you? And I didn't really understand him at first. I was fighting. I was like, yeah, but what about, yeah, sure, my stomach's digesting food for me, but what about that sale I need to make? What about that book I need to read? He said, Adam, listen to me. Nature never hurries, yet nothing is left undone. That's a Lao Tzu quote. And I was like, wow. And there was a giant shift in me that kind of helped me realize there is this deep-seated belief that I was holding with me, where I felt that in order for me to be successful, in order for me to achieve my vision, then I need to work really hard in order for it to work out. This was a deep-seated belief where I literally felt like I couldn't be successful unless I was working my ass off. And that overwhelmed me. I felt like there's no way that I'm going to be able to get this business up and running unless I do 6 months of work, unless I eat ramen noodles. And I just don't spend any money, stay up 16 hours a day, work long nights, and force myself to get this thing up and running. This was this childish idea that I get from my culture. So nowadays in our culture, we have this kind of hustle culture mentality where all the self-help gurus are telling you, you gotta work your ass off. You gotta read more books. You gotta wake up earlier. You gotta work out longer. You gotta get your side hustle going. You gotta take cold showers. You gotta do no fap. Even sometimes on my channel, I tell you, hey, you gotta read more books. You got to meditate more. You got to journal more. See, this, when I first began personal development when I was 16 years old, I felt extremely overwhelmed because I already had a bunch of schoolwork. I was taking all AP PACE classes, and I had a bunch of schoolwork. And on top of that, I was playing rugby, so I had practices every single day. And on top of that, I was meditating for 1 hour to 2 hours every single day. And I had to worry about reading books. I had to worry about being creative, discovering my passion, learning more. There's all kinds of shit that was on my plate. And what I would do is I would get so overwhelmed by all the stuff that I needed to do that I would just go and escape. I'd go smoke some weed with my friends. I'd go eat a bunch of food, have a porn marathon or a video game binge. And then there was this loop where whenever I felt like I needed to do work, I would get overwhelmed and then I would backlash or I would kind of backslide. Now the root cause of this problem is that you fundamentally think that you need to work really, 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 really hard in order for you to be successful in your business, to be successful in your relationship, in your meditation, in any area of your life. You feel like in order to feel worthy of success, you need to work your ass off. And this is a big problem. This is not actually true. What if I told you that it is possible for you to be twice as productive as you are now? What if it's possible for you to double your income, for you to actually get even better, to read more books, to get better results in your life by doing half the work? People might say, what? What is this new age nonsense that you're telling me? Oh, sure, Adam, I'll just sit on my couch. Law of attraction will bring everything right to my doorstep, right? Well, don't be too quick, because some of the most world-renowned success authors, like Maxwell Maltz, who wrote Cybernetics, or Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich. Actually, I have Cybernetics right here for you. Maxwell Maltz himself. This is one of the most famous personal development success books of all time. Cybernetics, understanding the cybernetic system of your mind and how it works. Maxwell Maltz said, by relaxing and maintaining a relaxed attitude, you remove those excessive states of concern, tension, and anxiety which interfere with the efficient operation of your creative mechanism. He says, you were not intended to suffer and struggle mightily as if pushing a giant boulder up the side of a steep mountain for every accomplishment or satisfaction in life. Believing that to be a true fact or a moral imperative is a severely limiting a belief and an opinion that guarantees you much misery. So, all right, how can we gain more success and not feel overwhelmed by this giant mountain of tasks and duties? How can we actually get the things done in our life that are important to us while also at the same time relaxing and being deeply connected to the natural flow of life? And this might seem counterintuitive. I'm actually telling you to work less. But keep in mind the ancient sage Lao Tzu, whose beard was so long and luscious that we're still talking about it 3,000 years later. He famously said, the path forward seems to go back. The path into the light seems dark. So it seems like by doing less work, you're going to get less done, but this is actually the exact thing that you need to do if you're someone who's feeling overwhelmed. All right, so our culture instills us with this belief that unless we're always working constantly, from the second you wake up in the morning, you're already thinking about all the shit you need to do that day. Otherwise, it feels like you're going to be falling behind the curve. We have this competition mindset where everyone's in the rat race. We're trying to outcompete each other. We're trying to read more books than the next guy, exercise harder, get more girls, more money. It's like a competition. If you're not working your ass off constantly, then it feels like you're going to fall behind the curve. But this mindset of always being anxious and worried about falling behind, that is actually the exact thing that causes you anxiety, tension, worry, making you feel overwhelmed. And then in order to escape this feeling of overwhelm, then you just distract yourself, go on your phone for 12 hours, play video games, go hang out with your friend and distract yourself from all of the stuff, the giant mountain of stuff that you feel like you have to do. So you're actually very lucky by stumbling upon this video, because now I'm finally giving you a permission slip And I'm telling you, you don't have to do any of that stuff that you think that you have to do. In the book Ask and It Is Given by Abraham Hicks, the most popular law of attraction book, that's actually very practical, and many successful people have actually used this strategy to make more money. I've personally used this strategy just within the last month, and I've increased my income by $1,000, which is great. That pays for my rent, for my food. This shit actually works. What they say is to make a long list of all the shit that you think that you need to do. A long list. Write everything down that's been on your mind that you need to do. The stuff you need to buy, the errands you need to run, the taxes you need to file, the bills you need to pay, the books you need to read, the piano that you need to practice, all that stuff, write it down. And then divide your page into two halves. On the left side, write stuff that I'm going to do. And then on the right side, write stuff that I would like the universe to do for me. This might sound kind of wacky and crazy. Stay with me. This actually works. This is in alignment with what Maxwell Maltz talks about in psycho-cybernetics. So on the left column, write the things that you can actually get done today. And don't feel like you have to fill up that left column with stuff that you have to do. Just put one or two things that you actually feel confident that you can do today. It might be something as simple as picking up the dry cleaning. So write that down in the left column. And then in the right column, put all the other stuff that you know you have to do, but you don't really want to do. Put all that stuff in the right column. Delegate your workload to the universe. This, in a more kind of scientific term, this is delegating the tasks to your subconscious mind. So in psycho-cybernetics, Maxwell Maltz talks about how we have a conscious mind and we have a subconscious mind. The job of the conscious mind is to become very clear about what you want with specificity. So many of us try and achieve tasks with our conscious mind, but this is a very draining process, and eventually you run out of energy, leads to burnout, and that doesn't work. So the main goal of your conscious mind, what you need to be doing during the day, is taking a lot of alone time for yourself. So instead of being drowned in work, we think we need to do all this work in order to be successful. Instead, take a couple days off, relax, take a step back off of your work. If you feel overwhelmed, stop fucking working. And you might have all of these limiting beliefs that come. It's like, oh, Adam, if I stop working, then I'm going to be out in the street begging for food. Just be aware of all these limiting beliefs that come up. These are the beliefs that cause you to work yourself like a mule and not to allow yourself any free time alone. So if you take anything away from this video, I want it to be that it is okay for you to take an entire day off just to spend with yourself. And that day off will actually be the most productive day of your entire life. So on this day off, really what you need to do is you need to clarify your goals in life. And you need to connect very deeply with the source of your being. I'll say it again. Many people work and work and work, and they do all these tasks. They have all this shit to do. They're busy in their life. If your life is swamped and you're super busy, what that means is you're extremely unconscious. And you're creating a lot of unnecessary suffering for yourself. The most conscious people, the most successful people, give themselves plenty of rest and rejuvenation time where they don't have to think about work at all. So we have this immature idea that if I want to start a business, I need to work 7 days a week, 16-hour days. No, that's not actually an effective work schedule. I personally get a lot more work done by taking a couple days off, completely off, every single week, just to go for a walk, go sit on the grass with my journal, write about what's on my mind, write about what I'm excited about in my life. What do I want to create in the world? What kind of impact do I want to have on people's minds? Many of us are way too busy with all the shit that we think that we need to do, stuff that isn't even making us happy. Many people are swamped in schoolwork, but the thing that you're studying, you don't even care about. So people are studying finance, but you don't give a flying fuck about finance. Really what you want to do is creative writing. Why are you studying finance? The reason why is because you haven't taken enough alone time to clarify your life goals and to become very clear about your values. What do you value in life? What genuinely brings you lasting satisfaction? Once you're clear about your values and your strengths, then now have a much easier time trimming the fat off of your life, redirecting your energy and your effort into those tasks and those activities that genuinely bring you lasting fulfillment. And you can trust that by following those things that make you excited, by doing those things that make you feel fulfilled, then that is going to return itself back to you in a passionate and excited life. You're going to be excited about your life. Now, I can't go super deep into the actual process of how you clarify your values and your strengths. That's what I do with my coaching clients. And I also have other videos about that where I take you through that process. I'll link one up there. And I have more videos on the way about this exact topic. Also, if you wanted me to guide you through this process one-on-one, then check out the link in the description where you can talk to me one-on-one, and we'll talk about my coaching packages where I actually guide you through this process over the span of a month or two and actually help you implement it into your life. But many of us don't spend enough time being with ourselves, spending time alone. The self-actualizing person allows for giant gaps in their schedule. So many of us think that the default position of life is to have nothing to do. We think that if we just do if we don't put any conscious energy or attention into what we're doing in our life, then we think that our life will just be empty and we'll have nothing to do at all. But actually, it's the exact opposite. If you're not very conscious about strategically planning your life, the default that you'll get is what everyone else gets, which is a busy rat race of a life where you have no free time at all. So we need to consciously carve out giant areas in our schedule where we can not feel guilty about just sitting around and just looking at the clouds and saying, oh, those are nice clouds. See, many of you will hear me say that and say, oh, well, Adam, if I do that, then I'm just going to be a lazy bum. And sure, you can say, oh, yeah, just go look at the clouds, but I have a mortgage to pay, I have a family to feed, I can't afford to do that. Well, yeah, sure, since you can't afford to take a couple of hours off and spend time alone to clarify your goals and to clarify what you want your life to be, then you can't afford, obviously, to live a self-actualized life, and then the rest of your life is going to be a waste. And you're just going to waste your life. So what I'm saying here is that by giving yourself time and space to do nothing, and by connecting to being, as opposed to doing, most of us, we just do. No, instead, give yourself time and space to be. And what that will do is that will actually tap you in to your internal source of abundance and creativity. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The actual source of your being literally is infinite abundance, infinite love, infinite creativity. The source of your heart. See if you can actually feel into your heart right now and feel there is a vast open space of consciousness and love that is literally the source of your being. That is what you are. So by doing nothing, by delegating all of the tasks out to the universe, to your subconscious mind, delegate the task to your subconscious mind. You don't have to worry about doing shit all the time. What you do need to worry about is becoming very crystal clear about exactly what it is you want. You want more money? Okay, great. How much more money do you want? Do you want $10,000? Okay, great. What are you going to do with that money? Why do you want it? What will that money give you? Okay, focus on that. Focus what you want to create with faith that it is possible to create it. Sit down with yourself, make a plan, a step-by-step plan. Okay, I want more money. Okay, great. What kind of service am I going to give to the universe, to other people? What kind of value am I going to give to the world so that I can receive payment in return? Spend time thinking about that. Contemplate it. Be creative about it. Maybe there's an opportunity that you didn't think about, but by giving yourself space, by freeing up time in your schedule that normally makes you feel overwhelmed, now by freeing up time, you're going to tap into a state of relaxation, of feeling like, hey, I don't have to get all this shit done. I don't have to meditate. I don't have to read books. I don't have to go to work. I don't have to do anything. I just need to relax for a bit. At the end of the day, if you're feeling really overwhelmed with your life, buy a flight ticket to Thailand and go live in the monastery for 5 years. They'll feed you, they'll give you clothes, and they'll give you shelter. You won't have to work a day in your life. And that's something I've done. You can do that. So if you feel like you need to work or else you're going to die, if this feels like a life or death situation for you, realize it's not life or death. If worse comes to worse, you can always go live in a monastery. And that's a pretty good life. The monks live very well, actually. For free. That's possible. That's a real thing you can do. All right, so you're not going to die. Give yourself time to rest, relax. And from this place of relaxation, think about, how am I going to share my abundance with the world? The actual source of your being literally is the creative source of God. How am I going to channel God's creativity and share that with the world? How can I hone myself as an instrument of the universe? So when you're sitting alone on the grass with your journal, think about, okay, what kinds of skills do I need to build? Just brainstorm. Okay, so I want to share my gift with the world as a creative writer. Okay, great. I need to practice my creative writing skills. I need to maybe take a course on creative writing. I need to read a couple books per month about literature so I can see some of the best creative writers and I can gain inspiration. I need to install a writing habit where I write for 1 hour every single day. I need to get a writing coach. I need to join a writer's club. Maybe there's writer's clubs in your area. Go join one, check one out. I need to watch a couple YouTube videos about creative writing. So see, right now, out of scratch, I've just brainstormed 7 action steps that you can do to hone your skills as a creative writer. On top of that, you might need to learn, okay, how do I publish a book? How do I write an ebook? How do I make a blog? Maybe if you want to do creative writing on a blog, how do I do that? Maybe you want to make a YouTube channel about creative writing, teaching other people how to be creative writers. So these are all things that you can start to brainstorm in your mind. Make that long list of all the skills that you need to build, and then delegate that off to the universe. You don't actually need to build those skills. What you need to do is you need to hold the target in your conscious mind. So the job of your conscious mind is target selection. Select the target that you need. Visualize and imagine what kind of skills that you need to have and how awesome that's going to be. And then allow your subconscious mind to execute on the instructions that you've given it. This is exactly what Dr. Maxwell Maltz talks about in Psycho-Cybernetics, what Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich, what Vadim Zeland talks about in Reality Transurfing. This is what all success, this is how it all works. Hold a goal in your conscious mind, and then once you're very clear about that goal and you have faith that it's possible and you see that it's possible for you, then chill the fuck out. Relax. Just chill out. You don't have to achieve the goal. Visualize the goal and then just relax. Trust that it's achieving itself. Because when you're neurotic about all of the things that you need to do and you're overwhelmed and you feel like you need to do all of it, when you're neurotic about that, what that's doing is that anxiety, that fear, and that worry, what that's doing, it's actually keeping you disconnected from the creative source of being, which is what you are. You literally are the source of all of existence. So when you're neurotic and anxious and you're in your mind trying to fight with reality, thinking that you need to fight reality in order to achieve your goals, why do you think you need to fight reality to achieve your goals? What if the universe was actually on your team? What if the universe was helping you achieve your goals? You're not fighting the universe is on your team. Just tell the universe, hey, this is what I want. And then allow it to manifest naturally. Nature never hurries, yet nothing is left undone. You literally are nature. So tell God, tell the universe, you are God. Tell your conscious mind's job is to visualize what is it that you want, and then allow your subconscious mind to manifest it for you spontaneously by stop filling up your schedule with all kinds of pointless crap. Just give yourself space. Decide what you want and then let it go. Relax. Give yourself some space. Let it manifest for you. I personally, I do this with my videos. So a lot of the videos I make, they take a lot of effort to make. They take a lot of willpower. They take a lot of vision and foresight. I have to read a lot of books in order to get this information so that I can share it with you guys. Many people would feel overwhelmed. I used to feel very overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, I got to make this long 2-hour video, but I'm afraid there's so much stuff I need to learn. What I do now is I decide what I want the video to look like in my mind. I visualize it. I think about the energy that I want to communicate. I think about what points I need to communicate. And then I make a very rough outline, and then I let it go. I just allow it to flow naturally. And the exact same is true if for basically every single goal you want to achieve in your life. So, to sum up, the reason why you're feeling overwhelmed by tasks and duties, the reason why is because your time and your life is cluttered up with a bunch of pointless and meaningless activities that aren't actually aligned with your intrinsic values, with what is meaningful to you. You don't even know who you are as a person, what you stand for. You don't even know what brings you ultimate happiness. You're confused. You're wishy-washy. You're vague. You don't even know who you are, what you want. If you don't know who you are and what you want, then you're going to be just kind of running around in a circle getting wishy-washy results because your conscious mind is distracted with nonsense, and then your life is nonsense. You're not thinking of meaningful things that are important to you, so your life isn't meaningful. So your conscious mind always feeds information to your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is just giving you what you feed it. So take a look at your life. If it feels meaningless, if it feels overwhelmed, if it feels like it's going in a circle, the reason why is because your conscious mind is meaningless. You're thinking meaningless thoughts. Your thoughts are going in a circle, and your thoughts are overwhelmed. So if you want a relaxed, creative life that flows with reality, where you're giving your passionate gift to the world, then relax, flow with reality, and allow your gift to naturally be given to the world. Fundamentally, you're disconnected from being. That's why Taoism talks about the sage can complete a journey of 1,000 miles without even taking a single step. Realize very deeply that you are not the one that is in control of your life. You're not even controlling your heart rate, your digestion, your breathing. You don't control anything. Surrender your will to God's will. Not the religious God, but the universal source of existence, which is what you are. Surrender your petty, neurotic, worried, egotistical will that's just worried and trying to fight against reality. Surrender that will to the higher will of God that knows exactly what is going on in life. Allow your life, allow God to carry you from underneath. Surrender. Your job is to connect deeply to being, relax, and rest in that. And then you might notice that your body starts to move itself. The flow of the universe actually flows through you when you empty your vessel of doubt, insecurity, fear, worry. When you empty all the nonsense out, you're inviting the joy, abundance, and love, which is your natural state, to come and fill you up. So empty your mind of all the bullshit and just surrender to the natural unfolding of existence. And you might find that after one whole day of doing that, maybe you take some magic mushrooms and you just rest and surrender to existence. Take the day off. Take 2 days off. Relax. Surrender to existence. You might find that through that surrender, you will spontaneously come upon an insight that changes the whole way that you're thinking about your life. Maybe there's this one problem that you keep banging your head against. It's like you don't know how to solve it. When you surrender and relax and let go, that is what will allow the answer to spontaneously arise. Because no longer are you fighting with existence, but you're actually allowing yourself to become a vehicle of existence, which is what will let you channel wisdom and love through your art, whether that be music, speaking, drawing, video, anything, whatever it is. You channel the wisdom of God and the love of existence just by allowing it to flow through you. Think of your mind like a conductor. Whenever you're doubting, worrying, whenever you're busy, your schedule's packed with nonsense, you're kinking the energy of God. You're not allowing it to flow through you uninhibited. So surrender all of your inhibitions, and you'll find that universal energy flows naturally through you. And everything I'm saying is verified by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, Napoleon Hill, the most successful people and the most famous writers on this topic ever. They will agree with exactly what I'm saying. Even in the book Think and Grow Rich, he mentions infinite intelligence. That's what you are. So surrender your will and allow the intelligence of the universe to flow through you.